created by someone else. But likewise, he created for others too at a couple of times. And so, I still think that the award is to identify individuals. I like that that's his mentality. I still disagree that we only had one. I think obviously D Black I thought was arguably one of the best players, period, in this conference. And I still feel that DJ Davidson, as good as any nose tackle in the league, just like I felt about Jermaine Lole the year prior. But I'm very, proud and happy for Tyler that he goes out that way, and I'm really proud of the way he's handled it with such humility. And I tell everybody, the thing that Tyler did really well the whole time, despite injuries and everything, is he treated people well. He was great to the fans, and he was great to the people here. So he's going to make money in this town for a long time, man, And there's a lot of people with a lot of money that want to have golf with Tyler Johnson. I know that. And he should be proud of himself. But yeah, I'm proud of him and the way he's handled it with such humility. No.
Can you kind of talk about maybe you working in the last 2 years and what got him to turn the corner and what you've seen in him, the difference from when he first got here and we're trying to figure it out?
Well, so when I was in the NFL, my mentor, Andre Patterson, used to tell me, like, you don't always want to get a first rounder. It depends on the guy. And so I've kind of got a feel of what it's like to go through that with Tyler, because here's the thing, and it's not their fault. They go through it because when you try to change the way they look at things, the way their eyes progress, the way they have to think and act and react to everything, you're saying it to a guy who's done it his way and it's worked for him. Does that make sense? So Tyler is just, and I tell the joke all the time to our players. I say, guys, Tyler is one of those guys that he wakes up in the morning, he opens up the covers, and there's a football right there. The football finds him, and it's like nothing I've ever seen before. AP said it to me when I got here. I didn't believe it. I was like, yeah. I've seen it before. No, this dude, the football finds him, so it just finds him. And it's always been that way. So it's hard sometimes when I'm asking him to do the difficult things I ask him to do for him to say, yeah, completely commit. So that's the thing. Tyler has slowly but surely just figured it out. It happens for a lot of people. Some people never do because they're just so stuck in their ways. And it's not malicious. It wasn't a bad thing. But he has consciously just steady tried to work on himself, work on his mindset, work on those aspects. It's like fighting nature. He's really finding his natural way of doing things and way of thinking. So you're rewiring him. And with him saying that, it's great because he's steady, he's peaking at the right time. And into this bowl week, his preparation, his focus, even his self-awareness has been so much better than it has in the past. So I do too. I wish I would have had him as a youngster and got a chance to raise him from day one and nip some of those habits in the bud, change his way, and some of the ways, I don't want to say humble him, but in the sense of just make him realize that if he builds it from the ground up, then the sky's the limit. And his talent it's that kind of talent. It's the kind of talent you draft on day 1, 2, and 3, 1 and 2 really in those first couple rounds. And I really wish I would have had him from the jump. I really do believe 4 years of just doing our stuff, it really would have been beneficial for him. It's not his fault. And what they were trying to do here in the previous staff, I can see it, that 3-3-5 stuff, and he's such a dynamic player, move him around. But if I could have just gotten him honed in on our technique for 4 years and also our way of thinking, the way he's ascended this last month and a half is something that I really would have loved to have from the beginning. But it takes a big man to admit that, and it takes a big man to fight through that, even at the end. And even, like I said, first team all conference, he's still saying those things. That's really big for him. That's really good.
What do you think it says about him that he is not wanting to play in this game? He's excited about it as opposed to guys that, for their own reasons and understandably want to sit out and be there.
Yeah, and I think you got to separate the two. You don't want to vilify people because they make those decisions for themselves. I think we're all family here, and we know some guys make decisions for the right reasons and some for the wrong reasons. But we love our guys. So you don't want to contrast, when I say this. But I think it says how much he loves being a Sun Devil. And I think It is. It was an emotional game for him. The Arizona game, Shannon Foreman the same way, Corey Stevens, and DJ Davidson, all of them. And he has that love for this place and for the people, all the Sun Devil fans. It's genuine. He loves you guys, and I think that's what shows. And it also shows, that he does love us and he loves his teammates and all that stuff. There's a simplicity to your life when you're a college student that goes away immediately. Once the money gets involved, you're a pro. That simplicity, it changes. It changes real quick. And the business, when it's all business, that's all it is. It's all business, and it takes away a little bit of that atmosphere, that purity. There's just a little bit of it is gone. It's still fun, but nonetheless, that part of it, you can tell it's precious to him.
What are your thoughts on bringing on Robbie Harrison for your expectations?
Robbie, one of the things is at some point in time, it's like when I was with the Vikings, we took guys that other people didn't value as much, and so they were later in the draft. But we saw skill set, and we saw character, and so those are the two things that Robbie has: long arms, good feet. I think he's going to grow. If you see him in person, he's got wide shoulders. He's a great wrestler. The kid is a good athlete. He's going to carry a lot more weight, and he's going to be a really good interior player for us. But he doesn't have a lot of technique, and that's our job. It's my job. And I trust in my ability to do that. I trust in our ability to do that. It's his character. This is a great kid. You're going to love this kid. And when he gets here, it's like I talk to you guys all the time about Daniil Hunter. There's a lot of guys that look and run and move like Daniil Hunter. Not that many, but a lot more than you think. His character, his intelligence separates him. That's what this kid is. He's a humble, hardworking, down-to-earth. Kids from the country. It doesn't take a lot to please him. He's not going to come here entitled asking, what can you do for me? He's going to come here saying, what can I do for the team? He wants to be a part of this. In the same light that you see Garen Stansberry and B.J. Green, the other two guys I brought in here. He's cut from the same cloth. But he has a big upside with those long arms and the ability to carry a lot more weight and still be athletic. It's been a fun ride with DJ, a real fun ride, and I evaluate him as one of my biggest sources of pride as a coach. And when I got here, I got friends that are scouts and friends that are front office people in the NFL, so I know what people thought about him. And it was hard for him. The cool thing about DJ is he was actually mentored in high school by someone named Demetrius Maxey, who I've known since CFL days. We both went to UTEP. He was actually a grad assistant for me at UTEP for a little while. Just a great coach and a person, and that's DJ's guy. He told me he's going to be special coach. And when I got here and saw the skill set, I saw it, but I didn't see it in the way he went about his business and how he addressed the game. The way he's turned it up and the way he's fully committed to our technique and the way I've watched him take on the challenges that I put in front of him, because you got to understand, he played good last year. And if anybody, you guys have known me long enough, good's not good enough for me. Good's the enemy of great. And it almost angers me more when I just see good, and I want it to be great. So I put my foot on the gas with him this year. I looked him right in the eye and I challenged his manhood. To his credit, like, his wife is an unbelievable person. The way she gets that dude, they got on the same page that they had something in mind this year they were going to accomplish. DJ showed me toughness. He showed me drive, and he did it on a daily basis. So to watch him ascend and play not just like a good player, but like a dominant player. And at times he did. He took over the inside of the line. And there was some times when we weren't at our best around him, but he did some great things to create for himself and for others. So as a coach, that's exactly what it's about. I got this from Andre, but we always say, we're not millionaires, but we make millionaires, right? And so he's not a millionaire, but this is to watch him be able to say, I'm ready, and also the feedback that I've gotten that he is ready, and that there's going to be people there that are very interested in taking him. Man, that's what coaching's all about, man. That's what it's all about. And if I'm just, I don't want to be a chapter in their books, just to be a footnote in that story, because it's his victory and it's his accomplishment. But that's what it's all about, man. So I'm proud. I'm really proud of him, and he's kicked some butt this year.
Talked about Robbie Harrison. What has it been like going out on the moving trail right now?
It's like it always is. I mean, I'll tell you what. It's not about who you don't get. It's about who you do. Bringing in the wrong guys is the worst thing we could do, regardless of the unknown, regardless of what's being said, regardless of all the various things that are probably going to be untrue at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And so that doubt and stuff like that, don't worry about it, because the facts that are here is that we have a tremendous university with great coaches, with great players, in a great spot. Trust me, this is just a wonderful place to live with great people. You just continue to sell what's true. And what's true is, dude, I want to get you here. I see your skill set. Come here. I'm going to coach you better than anybody can coach you. You're going to play for Herm Edwards. Antonio Pierce is going to be your defensive coordinator. You're going to love playing for that guy. And you're going to love the guys in my room. And whoever bites, there's enough good players out there. And I don't need, with all due respect, I don't need 10 different teams to agree with me to do that. There wasn't a lot of teams that were after B.J. Green. How'd that work out? You know what I mean? And there was nobody after Garen Stansberry when we offered him, and then all of a sudden it blew up late because they figured it out, and he's a loyal kid. So we don't do things like, I think it's a great opportunity. Sometimes adversity gives you the opportunity to show something more that you're about. And at least at what I control and what we control in the defensive line room, we've always done it that way. We don't recruit guys because of their stars. And I really don't care about the stars, because I've been at the NFL level at the combine, and there's more guys that you go, hey, he was a 5-star, but XYZ, we got to fix him. Then there are, hey, he's a 5-star, he's ready to go, let's go. Now, there are those guys, but you'd be shocked how many of those dudes are going, they're being drafted because of that system. So, you know, to me, it's just talk about what's real. Talk about, hey, let me tell you something. I'm here, Herm's here, AP's here, these players are here. Look what we've done with these guys, and look what the future holds in terms of what we're trying to build. And so it's still all positive. And I got to tell you, there's still people out there that love seeing us. When I show up with this logo, there's some people that are pumped to see us. And it's still fun to offer kids too. If you're on the road and you get a chance to tell their coach, hey, the kid's offered, and, or, you know, you get a chance, you're out there and you get to see him and you make that connection, talk to him on the phone and say, hey, dude, you're offered. That reaction doesn't get old. And to watch guys get excited about ASU, that doesn't get old. So it's still a lot of fun. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. People have lost their minds out there in terms of flying, man. Why are people so rude to, like, flight attendants? And people are just ornery on the planes, man. So that's the one aspect of it, is being on planes with people are just crazy. That's, once you get there and you get to recruit and be around coaches and players, that's all fun. That's actually a whole bunch of fun. So that'll never get tired of me. Well, we've got to find a way to establish more depth inside. So we're going to have to replace that somehow, be a transfer portal or recruiting. And so that's where Robbie's going to be there. We're still going to offer guys in there and try to build the depth from the inside out. I'm really excited about what we got coming off the edges, though. I think, you know, some of the things that we've been able to get there and the development, some of the things that I've seen here in these practices and bowl practices, from Stanley Lamb, from Joe Moore, Garen Stansberry, and then Anthony Cooper is making a leap, and he's starting to really come on. If you saw him rush against Arizona, he put some good stuff on tape, and he was tough to block. So I'm still excited about the edges, and I'm excited. I think Omar's had a good start to bowl practices. You know, we had to take Shannon out of retirement. He's still going to be with us. He's out there running around. And TJ Pesafea, still love the guy. And I think we got the same thing with DJ. We got to see him continue to ascend. And so I'm excited about our group, because year 3, it's got to be a culture now. It can't be something that I'm preaching that I can't be the one. I tell the guys, there's a difference between, when you go to church, there isn't a church full of believers. There's a church full of churchgoers. I don't need people that show up on Sundays and go back to sinning as soon as they leave the church. I need believers. I need guys that live it, breathe it, and preach it. And that's the culture we need to establish in our room going in. So I'm excited about these guys, because their energy right now in these bowl practices, it's pretty outstanding. They can feel it. They can feel like it's their time. And it's different when you say it to them than when they feel it. And you can see that energy, that juice is starting to raise up, man. That gets me going as a coach. So I'm excited about the ends. We got to build it inside with depth and more guys that can do it. But we're a lot better off we were when I showed up. When I showed up, it was a lot more dreary a picture. And then once I got to work with these guys and what they've created, not me, but them, and I got to give a lot of credit to Marvin too. I never have really gotten a chance to say how great Marvin was establishing the culture here. And AP has been tremendous. If that doesn't happen, they don't allow us to build this thing the right way. So I'm really encouraged that we have that continuity with Marvin here, with AP, that we can still build this. It's not possible without those guys and their leadership. And they've done a great job for our kids. So I'm excited about the way the culture is being built up in our room.